hope you can hear me okay. We got to get a little adjusted and set up how we're going to be. I apologize that this is where my phone mount is, so you will not be able to see the planter. I can't hold it the whole time. But I'll take you out and show you around in a little bit. Get it pulled up on my iPad so that I can read the questions a little easier. Comments. Turn. We need to turn. Okay, let's watch this live. There we go. And we get the ads because I have to watch the ads too. All right. So, did we settle whether you guys can hear me or not? I don't see any comments. I have 2 comments from a while ago. Hey there, Nathan. Since I'm the first one here, you are John. Thank you. Pretty much convinced you to sell your oldest tractor and buy an ARX and expect some years. You did not. You did not convince me of that. Yeah, that was the plan all along. Good, you can hear me. Excellent. That was kind of the idea. We were debating a little bit back and forth between the 8430 and the 8300. I probably would have traded the 8430, and Phil was pretty adamant against that, and he's not wrong. It's good. So I am speaking a little bit quiet, and so as long as you can hear me and I'm good. I have a sleepy 5-year-old, so we're gonna keep it down. As soon as I said, hey, I'm gonna do a live stream, he decided to lay down and fall asleep on me. So. All right, hey fella, nice ride. Thank you, Wayne. It is a very nice ride indeed. Would you ever get fertilizer tanks for the tractor so you would have to pull the wagon? Yeah, so I hadn't thought of that when we bought the tractor, but then I got to looking around and thinking about it, and yes, I would absolutely consider putting tanks on the tractor and not pulling the tank behind, especially since the way I'm trending with my fertilizer and my starter requirements, I'm not carrying as many gallons around. And so if I can carry 1,000 gallons between the tractor and the tank on the planter, I can do a lot. Most of our field, I mean, that'll plant 100 acres for me almost in most cases. So, yeah, I absolutely would think about doing that and consider it. I don't know, you know, there was no time to do it for this year, so maybe for next year. It opens up some other possibilities for me too with, sidebar here, but sulfur requirements in our crops is huge, especially in corn, and the experts will tell you that anytime you put nitrogen on your crop, on your corn, you should be putting sulfur out there, and at least a 10-to-1 ratio, if not more. Well, I have no ability to apply sulfur with anhydrous. Can't blend in anything there. But I could put a liquid system on my side dress anhydrous bar and put liquid on with the anhydrous, and I would just need a way to carry it, and tanks on the planter would give me that ability. So yeah, something I've thought about, something we'll look at maybe for next year. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but yes. All right, yes, I can hear you. Everybody's good. Thank you. Greetings from Denmark. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Are you having fun? Yeah, you bet I am. I am having fun today. Test plot will be interesting. Good, glad you think so. Yep, we will get to a test plot. I don't know when we'll get to that field, but not this weekend, I know that. Uh, 10 p.m. here in the UK, but worth missing some sleep to watch you enjoying yourself. Good, thanks for joining. Glad we can do it before it got too late there. It's been a day already. If any of you, yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you'll find out tomorrow. Alright. Greetings from France. Everybody watching from Europe right now. Sounds like you need the 1,000-gallon fender tanks. Yeah, you know, those are cool, but Here's the problem with those. They take up all the open space. The best thing, well, not the best thing, one of the really nice things about this tractor is that it's so open and easy to work on and clean and get to everything, and there's all kinds of room. You put those tanks on there, it's gone. Every nook and cranny is crammed full of tank and plastic. So I don't really want those. Plus, they can't come. You can't take them off. Like, they're part of the tractor, and that's it. And super expensive, but all tanks are expensive. So I would get front mount tanks, something that I can put off the front of the tractor. I think that would work better and help balance the load a little bit. We put more weight on the front end of the tractor. We got all the weight from the planter on the back of the tractor. So that's how I would handle it. All right, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, why did we jump down so far? You guys, a lot of comments all of a sudden. That's good. Hey Nathan, so glad I caught the live. Hello from Nova Scotia, Canada. It's about 50 degrees here today. That's last night's rain. Did not deter from playing today. Yeah, we only ended up with about 1/10 of rain out of that one last night when I was treating beans there. So not enough to stop us. I mean, it slowed me down. I didn't start until 3 o'clock this afternoon or so. So we had to let it air out this morning. But we are moving today, getting a little bit done. Dad's gotten a lot of spraying done on the wheat today, so that is good. And we're going to keep moving right along. Down here now is the 1,000-gallon tanks that can be field installed. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could field install them. Well, that might come off then. So, how do you like the CommandPro? Yeah, I'm still learning the CommandPro. Quite frankly, I like the style of the IVT and my 8R better. But that's because I know it and I understand how to use it, and I just haven't got the hang of this one yet. It's not nearly as smooth, as easy for me to operate as the just the little lever is. So, it is nice being able to have those buttons to lift and you know, control the planter functions right there on my thumb, but it's not as easy and smooth for me to drive yet. Hi from UK, saw you planting, good deal. Why are you so mean to Brock? Because he deserves it. How old are the boys? 4 and 5. How many acres of corn this year? 1,500 acres, somewhere in that ballpark, I think. We're a little heavy on corn and beans compared to normal because we didn't get as much wheat planted as we normally do. So it's a trade-off. We actually did cut back on corn some, but we're still more acres just because we don't have all the wheat in the ground. I assume you're running humic in your black liquid fertilizer. Yeah, that product is it's called Black Label Zinc, nutrient product, or Loveland, whatever they call it. And it does have humics in it. I'm not doing a lot of that stuff this year, but we are running it on some. It was on that first field. I don't actually have it in the planter now, although there was some left in there, and it's still pretty black. And then the next field we're going to, I am putting more of that in. So we're going to use it up fairly quickly, I think. Actually, most of it's going to Berkey. How long is your current planting window? Appears of now. How are conditions? Today and tomorrow, it looks like. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but late in the day. And so we've got today, and we've got tomorrow, if we can keep finding dry enough ground. Right now, we're in one of the fields that was cover crops that we didn't actually do any tillage here. So turn around and I'll show you around a little bit. I'll pick the phone up. Dad, I can see him across the river right now checking the next potential field for the tillage work. If we could go there and get that worked up tonight, there's 173 acres there that would be awesome to plant tomorrow. That's where our irrigating ground is. So, all right, I'll show you around a little bit. There's our planter. And we'll flip the camera. Oats and radish cover crop that we planted out here last fall. They winter killed. Anything green for the most part is volunteer wheat that will spray and kill off. But yeah, nice conditions. There's the tracks. It's floating all nice. Yeah, this is fun. This is lots of fun. All right. This is your home, putting you back there. Maybe. Okay. Oh, deer tanks are aftermarket. Yeah, I answered that. Aftermarket, most likely. Hi from Iowa. You know, John, you're making tanks that go right on your new Well, they do, and I did not know they were aftermarket, or you could add them field install. I knew you could order them that way. The tractor did not have them. Yeah, we just talked about that. Doesn't look like your track's sinking like the duals. Yeah, these float really well. Now our ground conditions here are pretty firm, so these tracks will sink. Trust me, they will sink. Yeah, lucky you. We got 1.5 inches of rain last night, just east of Grand Rapids. More coming tomorrow. Yeah, I watched that storm all day yesterday, just moving right across Michigan, praying that it wouldn't drop south and catch us here. And we got just a little bit last night, about 9:30. But for the most part, we missed it and able to run. I am concerned about the cold weather coming. Not concerned enough to not plant right now, but I wish it was going to be in the 60s and 70s rather than the 40s and 50s next week. Frost won't kill young beans. Well, yes, it will, but we're planting corn, and it is the end of April. We aren't going to get frost for very much longer. I fully expect the corn that we're planting now to take 2 to 3 weeks to come out of the ground. It isn't going to happen quickly, and by then, I hope that we're free of frost concerns. Corn can actually take some frost until it's not that big, V5 stage. I don't want it, but it won't kill it. So I'm not too concerned about frost, especially with corn. I would be rolling hard with beans if we had something dry enough, but we haven't found any corn stalks or anything getting planted to beans that's dry enough yet. Sweden, very nice. Very nice looking planting unit. It's kind of pricey. Yeah, the tractor's pretty pricey. Corn planter is very nice, but it's 10 years old now, so it's probably not worth as much as you might think. How much planted today? Not very much. We're up to about 33 acres so far, but we had a late start because of the little bit of rain we had last night. Netherlands checking in. Welcome. Great view from the ARX front to back. Yep, it certainly is. Don't see those over here. Well, there's not a whole lot of them over here either. Getting to be more, but... Alright. Nathan, why haven't you bought that tractor floor mat I sent you? And I'll save your carpet. Okay, here's why, John. Listen. That carpet is sitting on a rubber floor mat. I have no need to put a rubber floor mat on top of the carpet that's sitting on a rubber floor mat. I'll just take the carpet out. I've seen those tractor mats. They're super nice. But I don't understand why. Like, we already have that in the tractor. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. Time to update your intro video. Yes, it is. We will get to that. I needed some action shots. I got them yesterday. So, we can update the intro video. I've been a little busy. How much does the whole planting rig weigh? A lot. This tractor... as nice as it is, as awesome as the tracks are, and as cool and as light as it floats, it is very heavy. The tractor alone is 43,000 pounds. I have no idea what the corn planter weighs. It's not as heavy as you would think, not nearly as heavy as the bean planter, but it's not light. Also, the tank that I'm pulling behind it, the tank itself is light. The 1,000 gallons of fertilizer we put in it is not. We're heavy, but we're floating. Alright. Favorite part of using the new tractor other than the other one you used last spring? Oh, well, the tracks. I mean, the reduced compaction that we're going to see here, and it's going to be interesting to watch for the next couple months and even into harvest to see what kind of a difference it makes. But having all of the wheel and tractor weight in one line or two, one on each side, instead of having that row that runs between the tires, I think is going to make a huge difference for us. So that's my favorite thing. It would appear my dad is stopping along the side of the road here, so this will be interesting. But we'll keep right on at it here. Glad to see you rolling. Good luck this year. Thank you. Tell us we're having 2 displays. We'd let you do. Yeah, 2 displays. So I talked about that in this morning's video. In the 8R, the 335, I always had the little command center display on the armrest, and then I had another one, the 2630, that I put down and I ran all the planter functions off of. And so my tractor functions, my hydraulics, my slip, my all of that stuff was always displayed right on that command center on the armrest, which I have to do on the same display. Now it's the Gen 4, it's the bigger display, but all that information is still on there, along with now my planter monitor, my fertilizer monitor, all of that other stuff, and I'm constantly flipping back and forth from page to page. So John Deere sells what they call a Gen 4 Extend monitor. It's a dummy monitor. It doesn't do anything other than display information. But it would allow me to just pull up 2 pages at once so that I wasn't constantly flipping back and forth. I could see the tractor functions on one page, I could see the planter functions on another, or I could have fertilizer on one, planter on the other, and not have to change as much. So that would be the advantage. I want to get one. You can't right now. They don't exist. You cannot get it if you wanted to. That monitor would be able to be taken out of this tractor, put into the combine when we're harvesting, so that I can see, combine settings and functions, and yield monitor and mapping functions on another one. So, all right, what's next? Nothing happening south of Fort Wayne. It's a little bit wet. We're going to take the 8RX to Berkey. Yes, absolutely. We're going to take the 8RX to Berkey, and we're planting into a corner here. We gotta stop and see what Dad wants to do. No, we're not going to the next field. The grandpa's here. You got it. Because
Rylan, you want to come with me? I'll take you home, or you can stay at Grandma's with me. Stay at the farm. What do you want to do?
I want to work with Grandpa because I've been in here way too long, he says.
Good.
Front, too wet, gonna wait. Gonna go.
The low ground's a little wet. What do you want to do?
I'd love to plant it tomorrow. I don't want to wreck it.
Huh?
I don't want to wreck it, but
You wait till tomorrow and go, or
can't.
you got that other farm over there you can plant?
Well, I'm gonna go to Center Road tonight. So, yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't you go there in the morning?
Okay.
Go do some end rows. Farm, he was sleeping, and he said, I want to go work with Grandpa because I've been riding in here too long. Okay, kid. Alright, get you back in your home here. Now my seat's way up high because I lost all that weight. Where are we at? Right there. Okay. First impressions on the new fertilizer setup. Well, I was a little heavy on my rate yesterday, I think. We're going to see how this field goes. I had plenty. I should have more than enough fertilizer in there to plant this field. So if we run out, we've got problems. If we end up with 100 gallons in there when we're done, then good. But other than that, it works really, really well. I like it a lot. All right, we got to find the right auto steer line here. Behind East House, that one. We'll throw a marker just in case. Auto steer. Close there. Slow down, slow down. Where are we at? 8 feet off my line. Yeah, the line's not even close. So we'll shift it and auto steer. Go. Okay. How do you plant with corners with a tank on? Well, just like I just did, I guess. I don't. I round them, or I don't round them. I plant into them as far as I can go until the tractor is hitting the fence row or the trees or whatever, and then we back up. We make the turn, and we set her down and go. I leave about a 40 by 40 square in every corner, and tree. Moved it out of the way. I don't care. I can't side dress the corners. I can't harvest the corners. So why plant the corners? That doesn't bother me that I can't do that. Nice to see the tractor doing some field work. Go green. It is. Thank you. Go green. MSU Culture Club plant sale is today. Go buy some plants from them. It's probably over by now, but my sister part of it. Phil rolling on the beans. He is not. We have not found any bean ground or corn stalks that we felt like were dry enough to plant, so we're not planting beans yet. I would like to be, but looks like fun work. It is. Another split planter side by side today. Trying a new hybrid to get that on. No. We've got the same hybrid in the planter today as we finished with yesterday and planted in half that field. Not a split planter situation. Wasn't really a research or comparison thing yesterday, although it is good to compare them. Both of those hybrids that we were planting are good hybrids. It's just the way that it worked out with my plans and how much seed that I had that I needed both of them in that field. I probably should have just put one in and planted until it ran out and then put the other one in, but that's all right. It worked out. We gotta change our line back. Subtract 0. Main. Okay. Go. Okay. Everything here in South Texas is planted. Good for you guys. I would hope so by now, but that's good. I'm glad. How's the crops look? Gonna put 8RX in the high-speed anhydrous rig? Yes, we are going to side dress with this tractor. That is definitely the plan. When you're dead, get the lights working in the new shed. Would like to see how well it lights up the shed in the dark. I will try and do that as best I can. We just haven't got it wired yet. We got all the conduit run, the lights are hung. We just have to pull wire and wire in the plugs. So we'll get to that. Seems like the 8RX is pulling pretty good, huh? Fuel economy. I don't know what NTB means, but either not too bad. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah, the fuel economy on this seems to be really good. We burnt 30 gallons to plant 80 acres yesterday, it said. So we're less than a half a gallon per acre pulling the planter. I mean, we're running at 1,400 RPMs right now. It's not, we're not taxing this tractor at all. I know this tractor is way too big for this planter. I get it. That's not why the planter is not the reason we got the size tractor we did. It's for grain cart and hydrous bar and some tillage if we're doing it, that kind of stuff. So, enjoy watching your boys. They're good kids. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy that and that I can keep putting them on there and it doesn't scare you all away, because I love having them with me and getting to make these videos with them. Any luck finding a new semi? Pickings are slim. No, not really. We haven't looked super hard, but I do check in on truck paper or whatever every now and then and look and see what's around. And yeah, the pickier you are, the harder they are to find, and we're pretty picky. So we're being a little bit patient, trying to find something, but nothing's really jumped out at us just yet. Dealer recommend any track break-in tips? Do you see guys using baby powder? Yeah, so yes, talcum, baby powder, dirt, kitty litter, oil dry, any of that kind of stuff put in the tracks. Anytime we're roading it more than 5 or 10 miles, and when they're new, going down the road and stuff. Fortunately, when this tractor was brand new and the first time we were going to the field, we were literally right around the corner. We did not go down the road very far or very fast. And we've got dirt in the tracks now, so it's not such a big deal. So, normal operation, nothing that we really need to worry about. What the problem is the new rubber gets sticky and they don't want it getting hot and sticking to the rollers and stuff delaminating and pulling apart. Could you use the Gen 4 display you map with as an extended display? You know, I don't have a great answer to that question. It would be kind of handy if I could. That display is in the 9R right now. We're using it on the field cultivator, but we don't have to have it in there. But I've never heard that you could do that, so I'm not sure. Did you see the comments about that one button you couldn't figure out? Yes, acceleration aggressiveness. That's kind of what I had a hunch that it was, but I couldn't tell it doing anything different. And I wasn't thinking that would be something you would change frequently enough to have it on that command arm. Like, that seems like a button on the console or through the display that you would change, not something that's right there. So, I don't know. We'll play around with it sometime, but not a big deal right now. No boy sitting with me. Must be pandemonium at home. Well, Mama took Brayson to the zoo today because it is a super nice day here. And Rylan did not want to go to the zoo. Well, he did want to go to the zoo, but he wanted to hang out with me more because he has not seen me much for the last week. And Brayson has been hanging out with me a lot. And so Rylan spent all day with me until Grandpa just picked him up. So, yeah. What about your late-seeded wheat? How does it look? Yeah, the late-seeded wheat's not going to make it. We made that decision this morning. There is some there, and where I patched in and filled in some of the thin spots in the fields that were planted early and replanted stuff, it's going to help. We're going to leave that stuff go, obviously, but that field that we planted late, it's not going to make it. It's there, it's just too thin and patchy, and there is no point in growing a 60 bushel wheat crop when we can plant beans and potentially have 60 bushel beans there. It's just, it's not worth it. So we're going to tear the late planted wheat out, it looks like. At least most of it. Running off the new cell tower yet? No, they don't have power to it yet, and there's no transmitters or any equipment on it. But where I'm at here, we should have decent service. Did you ever put the Bear Grylls when he was so thirsty he put through it? Nope. Oh, I screwed that turn up big time. We gotta do that one again. That was way off. I'm trying to read and not pay attention. That was bad. Love the videos, Nathan, but there was a missed opportunity for the 4440 cold start this morning. Just saying. Yeah, yesterday. But the 4440 starts really well, and it wasn't that cold, so it started just fine. Alright, where are we supposed to be here? Better. Still off, but better. Oh, that one's going to be ugly when the corn comes up. Oh well. Learned a lot watching seed treatment videos. Good. Why is seed corn not treated by the dealers like beans and wheat are? Yeah, great question. So the reason is, one, there's several reasons. Number one, the vast majority of corn is sold in paper bags. I have no way to put it back in paper bags. Number two, corn is worth a whole lot more than beans, and you do not want to screw that up. There's a lot more risk involved in treating the corn, let's put it that way. Three, corn, the germ can be affected more readily, easily, and so handling and care and making sure that you are taking proper care of that seed and through the equipment and stuff is important. And so I don't know of any seed companies that ship untreated corn seed. It's always handled upstream. I could not even buy the treatment to put on corn. They would not sell it to me if I wanted to try and do it myself. So, yeah, that's the bulk of it. I do have the opportunity and ability to overtreat if I wanted to, if there was some products that we wanted to add to it. That heads up is labeled for use on corn. I may run a box through just to try it, but I don't really know what the advantages of that are. So, yeah, that's why, I guess. And I don't know that I would want to handle it anyway. You know, a box of beans is worth a couple $1,000s. A box of corn is worth 10. And so you screw up a box of corn, you have any handling loss or that kind of stuff, and it adds up in a hurry. That's a big deal. So, yeah. What's the ride like on them tracks? Man, this tractor is silky smooth in the field. It's a little rougher on the road than I anticipated. And I've heard that about track tractors before, but I thought the 8RXs were going to be different. That said, our roads are pretty rough, so you get on a hard surface and the tracks start rumbling, and yeah, it's a little rough, but it's not unmanageable. I have not gotten the courage up to drive this tractor 26 miles an hour down the road. I think we made it up to 19 on the way up here, and that was fast enough for me. So we're still getting comfortable and acclimated and it's going to take a little time. New door for the shed, still several weeks out. We are on their schedule within the next 2 weeks, and that was the beginning of this week. So I'm hoping next week it shows up. But you know how things are, so it may be maybe a week out or 2. I don't know, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Trying to keep the birds out. The carpet in your tractor is not just to look pretty, and if and when you remove it, you'll notice a significant increase in both the noise level and heat on your feet. All right, fair enough. That may be true. But the floor mat that's underneath it is exactly the same as what's in all the other tractors. And I haven't even taken the plastic off the carpet yet, so it's not dirty. When will beans go in? As soon as it's dry enough. I hope that we can find some tomorrow, maybe. And I would love to be throwing beans in right now. We should be planting beans more than we should be planting corn. That ground's just not quite there. But it is 80 degrees, sunny, and windy today. You don't get better drying conditions than what it is today. So that'll make things change in a hurry. I find using an iPad with John Deere app monitoring the planter operates 3/4 as well as Extend Monitor. Definitely worth having an Extend Monitor, though. You cannot use the 4640 as an Extend. Okay, there you go. Can't use the 4640. I have a 4240, but I assume it's the same thing. It's just a smaller version. Yeah. So maybe the app would work on the iPad. I don't know. I haven't messed with that at all yet. I think that's what they call Connect Mobile. But my planter's 10 years old. It's not a SeedStar 3, or it doesn't have the newer stuff on the planter. And so I wasn't entirely convinced that our planter is capable of running SeedStar Mobile or Connect Mobile or whatever they call it. So I'll have to, maybe you guys know, maybe I'll have to call my dealer. Must be awesome to be planting. We have 2,800 acres, haven't done a thing. It is indeed awesome to be planting. That said, I still have a lot of stuff to do, and I feel like I'm way behind. Let's make a proper turn this time. I treated some more beans last night. I made 2 good-sized deliveries this morning. I've got 2 more good-sized deliveries that need to go out yet, and then a couple of smaller ones. And I've got 20 to 25 boxes of beans to run through the treater yet. So depending on what time we get done tonight, I might go and do another 400 units or another 10 boxes tonight, late. Or hopefully we're good until it rains and I can finish that stuff up next week. But yeah, we got to get that stuff done quickly. Too bad we couldn't get some March beans this year. I know, I really wanted to. There was one day I was close to pulling the trigger, but it just wasn't quite ready yet. It was too wet, kind of like it is right now. And it would have been nice to do, but you can only do what the ground conditions allow you to do. One thing I have learned last year and the previous years is that dry ground and planting conditions matter much more than ground temperature. As long as our conditions are good and everything is fit, dry, I have no problems planting into cold soils. But if it's too muddy and too wet and you try and do that, disaster. Don't do it. You could use a 2630 to reassign the planter and liquid controllers to it through it. Wouldn't work with your MTU though. MTU. What is an MTU? Some kind of controls. Okay, so I could put a 2630 in this tractor. Yes. I am not that desperate. I can flip through the pages a little bit. I wonder. No. I wish there was an easy way to flip through the pages on this display like there is in the Combine. On the Combine, there's a button or a scroll wheel or something that flips through the pages super easy. On this command arm, there is not that option. But that would be nice. So now that we're behind that house where we did those ends, we're in some shorter rows, so I have to turn a lot more. This field is triangular shaped. The farther we get, the closer we get to the end, the shorter the rows get, the more turns I have to make. But it's pretty good ground. I expect superb corn up here. We're planting a 111-day golden harvest variety, 11V76. This is the hybrid that I had behind our farm last year that I entered into the corn growers trial that went 285. I'd be happy if this field averaged 285. It won't, but I'd be happy. I mean, 220 would be great too. All right. Is the 8R an IVT transmission, or is this the first IVT transmission tractor? This is actually our third tractor with an IVT. The 8R is an IVT, but it doesn't have the CommandPro armrest or controls. It's the older style, which at this point I know how to operate and prefer. But actually, our 7520, our loader tractor, is an IVT as well. That was the first one we got. That one has a left-hand reverser. It's not as convenient. I don't like that one as much, but I love the transmission in the 8R. The transmission in this tractor is just fine. It's me learning how to drive it right now that is the problem. How do you feel about your seed deliveries? Yeah, Adam, you're good. You get to these questions right before I think about them, but after I already answered it. Will you ever get a propane or non-electric forklift for the seed warehouse? Seems like you run low on electric juice often. I suppose there will be bigger and better batteries in the future. I really like the electric. It's super smooth. It's quiet. There's no emissions. It's easy. I love that forklift. The batteries are, yeah, they are what they are. Unless I'm running it really, really hard, I don't have to charge it during the middle of the day. I can usually run a full day with it. That said, anytime I'm walking away from it for a couple of hours, I try and plug it in just so it's good. I think the batteries are getting worse, and it's not so much that it's just because it's electric and it's the battery. It's the fact that the battery is probably used up and junk, and I just need to buy a new one. But new forklift batteries are several $1,000s, and it's hard to justify. A new propane forklift that ran good would be nice, but I really like the smoothness of that electric one, so I don't know. We'll see. It's good for what I've got for right now. Do you think you will demo a strip till rig this fall with the 8RX? Unlikely. I would love to, but I don't know how to make that happen, really. So there was somebody that watches my videos from east of here a little ways that had sort of reached out to me and offered maybe to do something together. So I might research that a little bit. Weather conditions dictate a lot of that. In my mind, the best place to try it would be in some wheat stubble that's going to corn next year. So that would be great, but bean stubble is where it would really shine. We'll see. I would like to, but I can't guarantee anything. Ever thought about doing premium YouTube memberships on your channel? Maybe doing some member-exclusive live streams or Q&A. You know, I've seen that option. I've considered it, I guess. I just haven't gotten into it. So, you know, I'm not trying to be a money-sucking, you know, vampire to you guys. I appreciate the support that I get, but it's not the point. So, exclusivity and excluding people is not great, but I don't know. We'll see. It's something I would consider and look into. I'm trying to get this merch stuff up and running right now. I've been in talks with Farm Focus and working on that logo and trying to get that updated. I'm waiting. Actually, I've got the stuff now. I need to send him the correct files. I had some stuff, but I need to send the vector files. Have that done. And I don't know how long the setup process is there, but hopefully soon you will start seeing some of that, and then we can work on other stuff from there. About a house update. Was the sink and countertop the last thing for contractors to do? Not quite. And so that really wasn't our building contractor. That was something we had done on our own. The sink is coming for that on Monday, and that'll be finished up. But my builder still needs to come back and set our air conditioning condenser, our AC unit, outside. It was too cold and wet and ungraded when they finished in February to do so. There is a downspout for a gutter that did not have a riser coming out of the footer drain, or not the footer drain, the tile, the drain tile we have buried around the house. So we need to dig that up and put one in to tie that downspout into it. And there's something else they needed to do. Oh, one of the shower handle trim pieces is the wrong one. They didn't have the right one, so the plumbers were supposed to get that in and bring it to us. It's the wrong color. So I think they're going to plan on coming next week to do some of that, or most of that, or all of that. So we're getting closer. My wife's been decorating and buying rugs and curtains and all that kind of stuff. So we're getting closer. I will give you a tour. I promise. I will. I don't know when it's gonna happen. All right. Did I understand you say each one of those black boxes of corn seed in your warehouse is worth 10 grand? Yeah. That may be a bit generous, but let's do some math, right? So is there a calculator on this display? There is on the 20. Oh, right there. Let's see. There's 45 units in one. High side for us would be $250 a unit. We don't pay $250 for much corn, but that's not unheard of. $250. That's $11,250. Yeah, 10 grand. That's not exaggeration. Now that's the corn, not the beans. So we don't. There's a lot more bean boxes than there is corn boxes. But even if you set an average at 220 times 45, it's $9,900 in every one of those boxes. Beans, there's 40 units. Untreated, they're somewhere in the $50 range. It's $2,000 a box, plus $12 a unit for the treatment once I add those. So 12 times 4 is 480, so they're $2,500 a piece for the beans. Seed bin is almost empty. That's a problem. That's a big problem. How is my seed bin almost empty? I got 15 acres to plant yet. Huh. Alright. What is an average winter there? Was it an average winter there on the drier side? I would say we've been a little bit drier late in the winter. We were super wet last fall, but then once January hit, it started drying up, and it hasn't been terribly wet. We've gotten consistent rains all along. We never got a really dry window to do any March field work like we did last year, but we haven't been saturated and flooded for a while, so maybe a touch dry, but nothing concerning. Do you see an improvement with the tracks? Well, I mean, yes, it rides better, it floats better, but the proof is in the pudding when the corn comes up. Modular Telematics unit, that's our MTU. Okay. In the other tractors, they call it an MTG. It's a Modular Telematics Gateway. That's why I was confused. I have not had an opportunity to try it yet, but I believe an armrest display is the same as an extended display. It is, so you could potentially take a display out of the combine and use it. Now, I didn't know if that would work. I thought maybe, but I didn't know. So it's not worth messing with, I don't think. What ground force change you making, tilled versus cover crop ground? Yeah, so on this planter we have active air downforce, and so I set my margin at about 80 pounds and we leave it go. It will put more air in the airbags and press them into the ground harder to maintain 80 pounds of contact on those gauge wheels at all times. So like right now, downforce, we've got 191 pounds in the airbags, or down pressure. Usually that runs along like 100 or something, so it's definitely running more in this dirt, but yeah. I don't have to change anything. It does it for me. Hello from Michigan. Well, hello. I am in Michigan. Any of the dark orange corn this year? Dark orange corn. Yes, the 03B96. Not very much, but I think I've got 24 bags of it or something like that we're going to plant. So, yes. Love it when the boys are with you. It reminds me of my two boys 30 years ago. I know they can get in the way sometimes. Cherish every second, my friend. Thank you. Yes, I definitely enjoy them. God, are you getting any berming on the headlands? Yeah, so not terribly, but this tractor does berm a little bit. It's the inside rear track. When I turn, I notice it throwing just a little bit. I don't think it's going to cause any problems, but yes, I am. All right, we got a few more end rows we need to do. Guidance, set track, middle, south ends. That's what we're doing. How old is the electric forklift? I believe it's like a 2008, 6, 8 model, something like that. But I don't think the battery was original. I don't know. I think I bought it used. The company that I bought it from was sketchy, if you ask me. Yeah. They were not very forthcoming on information. They refurbish stuff and paint them all up so they look really pretty. And when you turn the key off, it tells you how many traction hours are on it. And it said like 3,000 or something like that. And I didn't really believe that forklift only had 3,000 hours on it when I bought it. But they didn't let me think anything, or didn't tell me anything different. Well, I found in a diagnostics menu that forklift has 10,000 hours on it. And, you know, it's an electric forklift. There's only so much that can go wrong. But it's still shady, if you ask me, to not tell me that. Any new hybrid you're excited about this year? I've got a new 106 they were trying. Outside of that, there's a new 107 day that I had just a little bit of last year we're planting. Not a ton of new stuff. I've got a 110 day that we didn't plant any of last year, but I had planted some of it 2 years ago. I just didn't have a good spot for it last year, so that's why we didn't plant it last year. Yeah. It's nothing too much, I don't think. Have you checked the water level in the forklift batteries recently? Low water will affect the charge. Yeah, I probably need to do it again. I did it at the end of last summer. I add water to those frequently. But one time I added too much and it boiled over when I charged it, and it ruined the encoder bearing on it. It cost me $400 or $500 to get that fixed, so I try and be sparingly. But yes, I probably should top off the water levels in the battery. That would help. What about a BBF seed digger? I'd buy one over a shirt. There you go. That's a good idea. Let's see if I can talk to Ben over there at Farm Focus and get those printed up. High-speed planter conversion next winter? Unlikely. Unlikely. I'm not going to convert this planter because there's too much stuff I would want to change, and it would be cost prohibitive. But yeah, there's, I don't know. We'll see. I would really like to buy a new corn planter. I can't justify buying a new corn planter because I can still plant all my corn in 8 days. And when you can do that, how can you justify spending $300,000 on a new corn planter? I haven't figured that one out yet. See, it's just not smooth. It's not smooth. So much smoother with the 8R. Anyway, any thoughts on running a second combine this fall? Nope, none. We ran 2 combines before we had the S680. We just got that 780 this past fall. It's plenty of combine for what we need. We can't keep up hauling corn away from 2 combines. There's no way. A second one would make beans go faster, but no thoughts on running a second combine this fall. Manpower is an issue. Confused on how I'm so low on seed. That concerns me. This planter's always been super accurate at seeding rates. Unless I figured wrong somewhere. Speaking about a logo, wasn't on the intro of your video 2 days ago. I mean, there may have been some sneak previews of some stuff show up there. I expected more comments and feedback on that than I got, but you guys do what you gotta do, I guess. Okay. You guys doing house landscaping yourself? Yes. So I'm still waiting on my leach field guys to finish up. Like that's a nightmare. Maybe next week. I don't know. I talked to them earlier this week and they acted like they were going to come this week. Didn't happen. Anyway, I kind of need that stuff all to get done before we can finish grading and that needs to happen before we can do any landscaping. So I'm gonna probably hire somebody to help me do some of the grading work, and then we'll take care of the landscaping. It's just gonna be a long process. Oh, I never knew the seeds were that expensive. God bless. Thank you. Yep, it is expensive. I'm surprised to hear that most corn is sold in bags and boxes. Yeah, I'm getting more and more boxes. This year I had 3 customers buy in boxes, and I'm one of them, and I had the majority of them. But outside of that, I don't sell a ton of corn in boxes. But a box of corn will plant 115 acres. So for a lot of guys that are only farming 400 or 500 or 600 acres of corn, having 100 acres or something in a box and tying up, that much to one hybrid is a lot of guys don't like to do that, and they don't have the tender or the ability to handle the boxes, and they can handle bags. So the majority of my sales I probably do sell more in boxes, but it's mostly just mine. I have way more customers that uses bags than boxes. But have you heard anything on the camera for the combine? I have not. I haven't asked or checked on that, but I have not heard anything. Surprised to hear that more. Oh wait, where are we at? Why are you trying the different zinc products this year? Because the salesman is really good, and I can't say no. It's got some other stuff in it. It's got some phosphates and some nitrogen and some humic acids and some other stuff. The humic acids intrigues me. I hear really good things about it, so we're trying it. That's why. That's it. Any plans to upgrade the bean planter? No, high-speed stuff. Oh, you mean trade? Yeah. I don't know. Both of our planters. That one's an 11. This one's a 13. They're both getting sort of older. The bean planter is less critical than the corn planter, but I could see either one of them being on the replacement list. But we've bought a lot of equipment recently, and we need to cool it for a while. So we have no imminent plans. And the problem with planters is if you're going to buy a new one, you have to do it by the 1st of June. Otherwise, you're not going to get it for next year. And even then, it's questionable. So that decision needs to be made rather quickly, and I don't think it's going to happen. Planted my 11V76 this week. It'll be irrigated. Excited to see what it does. Good deal. Yeah, I'm going to do some irrigated V76 as well on the other side of the river back here. Yes, just fine. Hi, Nathan. Congrats on the new machine. Thank you. Oh. Maybe trade both planters on a DB60 36 row 20. There you go. No, I really like being able to plant beans and corn at the same time. I do not want to go to one planter. Absolutely not. Did you go to school to study something in ag? If so, what did you study? Yes, I went to Michigan State. I got a degree in agribusiness management. So, yes, I have a 4-year degree. New sprayer soon. Yeah, well, that's on the wish list too, but no imminent plans. Again, we need to cool it. Sprayers are $500,000 too, or more, or I don't know. They're expensive. Let's skip a pass. Where we at? Right there. Okay, David, thank you for that super chat. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thanks for watching all the videos, commenting on all of them. Appreciate all your support. Been watching, love the videos, been watching for a while, and was super pumped to see that the company I work for did your countertops. Ooh, which company is that? Because I've had 2 of them do it. Electric fork truck batteries should be filled with distilled water only. Yeah, I definitely only fill with distilled water. Open the cap and look inside. Should be a plate with holes in it. Water should just cover that. Yeah, I'm aware now. An equalization charge should be done weekly when using it daily. Hope that helps. See, now that I did not know. There's an equalize button on that charger, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So I push it sparingly, but definitely not weekly. So maybe we should do that. That might help. how do you like your 8RX? And do you like that transmission in that better than your IVT? Well, this is an IVT transmission, so they're the same. It's just the controls are different and how you control it. And right now, I still prefer the old way because I know how that one works. This one I'm still learning and trying to get accustomed to. But the transmission itself is fantastic. The tractor is awesome. We've got a lot of learning to do, mostly with the controls and stuff. I think everything operational-wise is still really good with this tractor. I am quite happy with it. We've got a lot of learning to do, though. How's Anna doing? She hasn't popped up in a while. Yep, she's doing well. Got a week or two of school left, and then she'll be home for a couple of weeks before she starts her summer internship. I will wait until she is home to let her tell you about that a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get her on the channel a couple of times when she's home. Seen you on TV. You photograph well. Thanks. I have a little experience speaking in front of a camera, although usually there's nobody around. But that was it. Just kind of happened. The other guy that they interviewed there is one of the guys that I'm treating beans for. In fact, he's the one that's got 50 boxes in my warehouse. And I had called him the night before to say, hey, I got these done. Do you want to come and get them and stuff? And he didn't answer, but he called me back the next morning, and we were talking about that. And he's like, hey, I got this guy from the news coming out this afternoon. Would you want to do the interview for me? I think he was trying to get out of it. They did not let him out of it, but they did interview me as well for that little piece, and it was cool. It's fun to do. I grew up not far from you in Swan. Enjoy watching someone from my area. Cool. Yep, that is not very far from here. Did you ever figure out the button on that stick? Yeah, it is an acceleration aggressiveness button, apparently. I haven't figured out what exactly or how it works or what change it makes exactly, but I know what it's supposed to do. Nice to see the tractor in the field. Hope it grows well and gives good harvest with all the huge input costs this year. Thank you. Yeah. If you watched my TV interview, you know that they were talking about inflation a little bit, and what I said there was absolutely true, where we have a lot of risk. We're paying a crap ton of money to plant this crop this year, and if we have a poor year or a 2019 style spring, which, I mean, I'm planting in April, so that's not the case, it could be bad. But if we have a year like last year where we have really good crops, we still have really good prices, and you know, we'll do okay. Things will be good, so we will see. Look, there's a rock. Okay, here, hold on. Let me flip you around. Flip you around. Come on. There. See that rock? I hit the rock button on the screen, and it puts a little flag there. And then I send Brock out here with the gate and say, hey, go pick up that rock. All right, when we get up to the end here, we're going to take a break. We're going to get out and go check our seed tanks because there can't be much left in them. After it's been telling me it's low on seed for a while. Hey, love the new tractor. Been watching your channel for years now. What's the seed rate? Seed rate is variable. Right now we're planting 31.5 or, well, 32,000 actual. Maybe that's why we're out of seed. We're planting it too heavy. All right, let's go out and check our seed tanks. Hey, there's you guys. Say hi to yourselves. Let's see. I wonder if it's because CCS planters are expensive, so everyone runs the box planters. Maybe. That's true. More corn planters, especially older ones, are box planters and not CCS, so that's a pretty good reason for guys to run or use bagged corn instead of boxes. How do those foliar feeds you sprayed last year work? I've talked about that in other videos. They're jury's still out. Brock helping this weekend. We need to start a GoFundMe for him to get a camera update. Brock is not working this weekend. He was available. We just didn't really have anything for him to do today. So, no. Look at it. Look how pretty it is. Alright, let's see what our seed tanks look like. Oh, there's more in there than it said. Come on, flip around. There.
We got lots of seed in that one yet. This one may be a little lower. We might have to level them off. Yeah, there's your problem. They're just not even. Well, that makes me feel better. All right. So we take our bucket that I've got strapped on there. We throw it in the bin. There is a gate on the bottom that we could go and drain some off the bottom. But I'm all. So we take a bucket out at a time. Dump it in that one until they're even. I gotta set you guys down to do this because I can't do it with one hand very well. Where can I prop you up at? Here. Don't stare at my butt. Okay, good enough. All right, we evened them out. We can play for a little while. I don't know that we're gonna have enough to finish this field. We shouldn't, to be honest. We should be about an acre or two short. Because I talked about it in the video that'll come out tomorrow. But I wasn't gonna crack open a box for 1 or 2 units. Yeah, so, all right, back in your home. Okay. Well, that was a fun little adventure. Let me get you plugged back in because my phone's probably gonna die. Lift the planter up, and away we go. Fertilizer looks okay. Still a little heavy. All right, now where are we at here? You kids laughing at me? That's, yeah. The smile on your face says it all there, Nathan. Good, you love, you never work a day in your life. That's exactly right. Love seeing your enthusiasm for farming comes through in every video. Oh, good. That's excellent. I really love this. I mean, I have it very, very good. It is not lost on me how nice that I have it and the equipment that we have and what I'm driving and stuff. Like, I get it. But we all work really hard to have this stuff. And we made the decisions that we've made, and we've made the right decisions in a lot of cases. Both my dad, my uncle, me, my other my uncle who does our bookwork stuff. We're all in on it together. I like to think that the decisions that I've made with some of the crop inputs and spraying fungicides and variety selection and all that is providing substantial return that allows us to buy 8RXs. But it is not me by any means. It is a collaborative group effort. All right. Do you mostly plant varieties with above and below ground insect protection? Mostly, not always, but mostly. I've always been a pick the hybrid first, start with genetics, and then see what traits are available. We have corn borer here. Everybody kind of has corn borer. It flies in every year, comes up from the south. Occasionally we have some rootworm. We do not battle rootworm like they do in Iowa, in Illinois, even in west central Indiana. And so the rootworm trait for me is a take it or leave it. If we can get it in a hybrid, great. If it costs me an extra $50 a bag, yeah, I'm gonna think twice about that one. So, yeah, a lot of our stuff is above and below ground insect protected, but not necessarily always, I guess. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It is all, however, Roundup ready because we need that, just that option. We rarely spray glyphosate on corn, but I like to be able to if we need to. Do you think the seed trench walls are less compacted behind the tracks than the tires? The seed trench walls, no, I don't think we're affecting the seed trench walls at all. What we're affecting is that space between the rows where the tires would be running, specifically for that one row that had a tire 5 inches or 4 inches off of both sides of it. That one that was in the middle of the duals, that pinch row, we no longer have. We have one row, or we have 4 rows that have a track print on one side of them. We had all 4 of those with the other tractor, but we also had 2 rows that had tire prints on both sides of the row. And we've completely eliminated that with this tractor. So I think that's going to make a tremendous difference for us. But we'll see. 2 plots again this year, Shed and Berkey. Yes. What agronomic trials are you planning? Yes. Wade came up, my agronomist, this week earlier and tried that. We've got some seed treatment trials we're going to do on soybeans. We're going to do sulfur trials. We're going to do population again because that one was a really cool study last year. On corn side of stuff, we've got the variety trials. I can't remember what else we had picked there. V5 fungicide, potentially a planting depth one. That one was pretty good. That kind of stuff. So, yes. And we will be doing a second plot down to Berkey again, at least on the corn. I don't know about beans. Will you do the 16-row experiment like the past year and then harvest it row by row? I mean, yeah, we can do that on any given pass in any field. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. But yes, I kind of intend to, at some point, do that. It's just a matter of taking the time when we're harvesting to actually do it. Was there ever a time when your 4440 was the main workhorse on your farm? Yeah, there was. I remember when I was really young, I remember my dad planting corn with a 4020 in a 6-row, and he burnt the clutch up in it in 1 or 2 years because it was clutching on the end every time because it didn't have enough hydraulic capacity to raise the planter out of the ground. And then he started planting corn with the 4440. That 4440 was actually in Berkey. That was kind of their tractor down there because we sort of were 2 separate operations at that time. And so then Dad started planting corn with that. And then when we bought a 12-row corn planter in 1998, Dad planted corn with it with the 4440 for 1 year. And I don't know, he burnt the clutch up in that or whatever. It didn't have enough power. That's when we bought the 8300. It was in the fall of 98. And bought it to pull the 12-row corn planter. So yeah, before that time, I mean, we had a 4955 that we bought in 1992, and so that was kind of the main tillage workhorse tractor. But yeah, the 4440 was a big one. We had a 4520 that we planted beans with. I remember that pulling our 15-foot drill. So yes, for quite a long time, the 4440 was the tractor. I don't know about tillage horse, maybe when it was new, but it planted corn for years. If you had to go back to college, would you do anything different? I would probably have taken different elective classes, and now that I know, how it works, done stuff a little bit different, but my ag business degree is really good. Quite frankly, things have changed so much since I was in school, and college is so expensive and stuff. I would seriously consider doing a trade school or some more specialized stuff. Like, I would love to have been able to, when I was in college, take the courses that teach you how to weld or do electrical or hydraulics or, all of those kind of things that would be way more valuable to me than some of what I did learn. That said, my degree has paid off immensely with my seed business and all the opportunities that it's created for me. So I'm not saying I did the wrong thing, but if my kids, I didn't have a choice. My dad told me, you're going to college and get a 4-year degree or I won't hire you. Like, okay, I'm going to college.
And I did it with the intent of coming home to farm the entire time. It wasn't until right before I graduated that he's like, no, you need to go get a job somewhere else. Oh, okay. So I did, and I had the degree, and I had the experience, and it was a great thing. It was a really good decision. And I give him a lot of credit for making that decision and making me do it, because I'm way farther ahead in life because of it. But if my boys in 10 or 15 years decide that they don't really want to go to college and spend $400,000 to get a degree, I don't know that I will blame them. And I will make them get some sort of post-secondary education. But it could be that kind of stuff, you know. Go learn how to weld. Go learn how to do electrical work. Go to mechanic school to learn how to do diesel mechanics. I don't care, but learn something. Doug, thank you for the super chat there. You guys are super generous, and I appreciate it immensely. I just answered your question there a minute ago, so I hope that was satisfactory. But again, thank you very much. Maybe a spoiler in vids I haven't watched yet, but how are the lights at night on the new tractor? It is not a spoiler. We have not been in the field at dark yet. I don't know. I mean, they're super bright, but I don't know because I haven't been in the field with it at night. So here's how we handle a corner. I'll stop and then show you. Flip! Why doesn't this camera flip when I push the button? So we've got this lot and the road, so I pulled the tractor up as far as we can go into the corner. We now lift it up. And we back up straight as far as we can before our tank back there gets all wonky and crooked. And I've already done these end rows, but if we were planting into a corner the first time, we would back up far enough to make our turn about here, because now we can turn. And with the old tractor at least, and I'm sure with this one as well, I was good enough to square this up and drop the planter and just have a 40 by 40 square right here in the corner. So that's how we plant corners. Like I said, I already did this one, so we got end rows behind this building site to do now. Come on. Come on. There. Nope, we still missed. There. Okay, guidance should be the west house ends. West house ends, right there. Ah, how about that? I have guidance lines for all of our ends and everything. Some of them are accurate, some of them are not. Really? See, and when I push the clutch in, it stops me, and then when I let the clutch out, it does not make me go. Let's throw a marker again, just in case. Okay. Here in Idaho, we cultivate the spud ground after we plant because the spud equipment is so heavy and causes too much compaction for us, but we don't have any problems with that in our grain ground. Yeah, I could see that. What is the mother seed company for Golden Harvest? Golden Harvest is owned by Syngenta. So Syngenta also owns the NK brand. That's sold mostly through retail locations, not farmer dealers like me. Have you guys ever considered selling off the Berkey farm? No, we have not. So the Berkey farm is the home farm. That's where my dad grew up. It's really good dirt. It diversifies our weather risk. It's not, I don't want to sell it. No.
That said, we're losing some because one of the farms that we rent is for sale, but it happens, I guess. Not a big deal. We had a 1990 4925. Looking back, that power shift was rough. Yes, we had yes. Do you think there will ever be a time when you farm and have all track tractors, or just can't justify for a tillage tractor like a 9R? I'm not going to say no. I would say it is highly likely that our next row crop tractor, which this is not on the radar right now, will also be a track tractor, because having two of them for both planting tractors would be very advantageous. Where are we at here? There. But as far as a tillage tractor goes, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to that. I don't see the advantage as much in tillage equipment as row crop stuff. But that said, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to the idea. There's no reason not to, other than cost. What percent of the farm is yours, and how much do you farm yourself? Without getting into specifics, because you don't need to know specifics, our farm is set up as a corporation. We all have shares of stock in said corporation, and I get paid wages just like anybody else would from any other corporation, and a W-2 at the end of the year. I do not have any of my own ground. We don't do stuff like that. I don't buy equipment on my own. I don't farm acres that are solely mine. Everything is together. All of ours is together. My dad doesn't have anything that's only his. Phil doesn't have anything that's only his. They own some stuff separately, but the farm rents it from them. They don't farm anything separate. So Borderview Farms Incorporated farms everything equally. I own stock in the farm. My dad owns stock in the farm. My two uncles own stock in the farm. And we all have our different percentages and split it up that way. I think it's a great way to do it. I understand why other people are set up differently, and how, you know, the father and son farm separate with the same equipment kind of stuff. I get it. But I'm so thankful that ours is not that way. Somebody's calling me. My wife. I want to talk to her? Sure, but real fast. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I promise. You all left. Oh, well. You need to get a lapel mic for these right into the port on your phone. My phone doesn't have a port, but I do have wireless earbuds. I haven't found them for a day or two. I don't know where they're at right now. We'll find them. They work sort of. Sometimes you guys complain and say that this is better without them, so I don't know. What NCGA entries you planning for this year? Both dry and irrigated no-till entry 2 from covered crop field. I don't think this counts as no-till because we tilled it last fall. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Might be. Maybe. Wade, agronomist Wade, is trying to get me to enter the no-till irrigated, or no-till non-irrigated, or no-till irrigated category in Ohio, because last year there was only 2 entries and there's a good chance I could win it. But I don't have any of that ground in Ohio, so probably just irrigated this year. We'll see. I don't know. I got this irrigated field that I really like doing entries in. My superintendent, the guy that I usually have come and check me in the fall to be here and supervise when I harvest, he quit his job with Farm Credit System, Greenstone, so I don't think he's qualified anymore, and I have to find somebody new, and that is a problem. That's the worst part of that, is trying to find somebody that can come out and verify stuff for me. So if any of you are local and want to do it, let me know. Will you push for 300 bushel in the irrigated field? I absolutely am pushing for 300 bushel in the irrigated field. We're going to do everything I can to push it. Would it be 9RT would be nice to replace the 9R eventually? Yes. And 9RX would be even better, but I would take a 9RT. I saw that Laura Farm supposedly made $230 off YouTube in a year, so maybe you could hire Anna to coach him. You know, I have told Anna over and over that she is sitting on a gold mine if she would just make YouTube videos every day. She doesn't seem to think that way, so she's got a really, really cool internship this summer. If the company was cool with her filming it, she would make a fortune on YouTube. So I do not make anywhere remotely close to $230,000 a year on YouTube. you guys are going to have to step up your game a little bit and find me some more subscribers to get to that kind of level. Then maybe we could buy another 8RX. Oh, my wife wants to know where Brayson's bike is at the farm. It's in the new shed in the back where he left it and has been riding it. They must be back from the zoo. Would you sell the corporation if Elon Musk made you a great offer? Unlikely, but it would, for enough. What's your dad think about long-term plans? He retire and move to somewhere warm kind of guy, or drive tractor as long as he's kicking kind of guy? Definitely a drive tractor as long as he can kind of guy. That said, he's... I think we're on a seat. He's starting to slow down a little bit and not work quite as much, or not, I shouldn't even say that. He appreciates the fact that I am doing more and more and more. And he's been very generous with giving me more and more responsibilities with picking out seed and chemicals and doing all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Definitely. Rylan is with Grandpa Honey. He came and picked him up a little while ago because he was sleeping. You just need to be an attractive girl in your 20s. I'm well aware. I told Anna she's sitting on a gold mine. Now we know how to spell Brayson's name. Yeah. I think that's all she wrote here. Unless we're still a little uneven. Why does that not reverse? We're empty. I got them pretty even, didn't I? All right, I knew that was going to happen. There's a little bit more here than I thought we would run out with. We got to have probably 3 acres, I would guess. I'll look at the display in the tractor. But like I said, I knew that was going to happen. I didn't quite have enough seed to finish this. But that field right over there across the river that we're going to try and plant tomorrow has got some more of this same exact hybrid going in it. So we're just going to finish it up when we've got this hybrid in the planter up there. We're going to fold up, head out of here, and go to the next field. I love Matt. He talks to you in your live streams. Yeah. Maddie, hope everything is good. Yeah, there you go. Adam, thanks for that super chat. I was joking. You guys don't have to step up your game. You're more than generous as it is. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and end this one because I got to fold up and head back to the farm. So, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll do some more live streams. Probably not tomorrow, but maybe next week sometime when we're in the fields. If we're in the fields, we'll see. But there's a video coming out tomorrow, so check that. And thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. See ya.